His gaze sharpens, a storm quietly stirring in his violet eyes. They are calm, yet filled with an intensity that can't be mistaken. The light catches on his lashes as he lowers his head slightly, deep in thought. There's something unreadable in his expression, an emotion hidden behind his composed exterior. It's a look that carries both determination and something softer, something he doesn't often allow the world to see. Without hesitation, his hand reaches out and wraps around hers. The warmth of his touch breaks through the sterile air of the hospital room. His grip is firm, protective, as if silently promising he will never let go. Her smaller hand trembles slightly inside his, but his hold remains steady, strong enough to keep her anchored to the world. The word hold echoes like a vow between their palms. Now she knows what fear is. The thought cuts through the silence like a blade. He stands near the bed, his expression cool and unreadable, his posture straight and composed. The bright light behind him contrasts with the heavy air between them. For a moment he doesn't speak. He only watches her, as if trying to read every hidden emotion in her fragile state. His presence is both reassuring and unsettling, like someone who knows exactly how much power he holds. Beside the hospital bed, he doesn't release her hand. His tall figure casts a long shadow over the sheets, making her pale pink hair seem even more delicate against the sterile white. Her fingers are small, fragile, yet he holds them with a quiet certainty. It's a gesture that says everything words can't, a bond neither of them can deny, even in silence. Her voice breaks the stillness, soft but trembling with emotion. Do not. I beg you, don't do that in front of others. Lying weakly on the bed, her eyes remain closed, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. The bandage on her forehead stands as a reminder of the pain she endured, but right now what flusters her more is the closeness between them. She can feel the weight of his hand, the warmth of his presence, and the way it stirs something in her heart that she can't control. He leans closer, the world outside their hospital room fading into a blur. His forehead touches hers gently, a silent reassurance that words could never express. It's better, he whispers, his breath warm against her skin. The city beyond the window glimmers under the soft daylight, but all she can focus on is him, the closeness, the warmth, the way time seems to stop between their locked gazes. It's not just comfort, it's a promise. The sunlight pours softly through the wide hospital windows, casting a golden hue over the two figures. He leans in close, his face only inches from hers. Their breaths mingle, and in that quiet moment, the world seems to fade away. Her eyes soften, her lips curve into a faint smile, fragile yet sincere. His expression is intense, almost tender, as if he's caught between restraint and longing. The faint cityscape outside blurs into nothing but light and warmth, wrapping the moment in stillness. The moment breaks. He straightens, turning sharply away from the bed. His tailored suit catches the sunlight, sharp lines defining his tall figure. His face, calm but unreadable, hides a mix of emotions behind that practiced composure. The caption flashes, turning. Perhaps he's trying to hide the turmoil within, or maybe he's simply reminding himself of the distance he must keep. Either way, every movement carries quiet tension, like a man walking away from something he secretly wishes to stay for. As he steps away, something tugs at him, literally. Her hand, small and pale, grips his tightly. The motion halts him mid-step. Pull. Her fingers tremble, her expression unseen, yet her grasp speaks volumes, a silent plea not to go. For a heartbeat, He doesn't move. The air between them thickens with unspoken words. His eyes lower toward their intertwined hands, and in that simple connection, the world narrows down to two people who refuse to let go, even when they know they should. His eyes widen slightly, a rare flicker of surprise breaking through his usual calm. The deep violet of his gaze dims with uncertainty, a shadow of hesitation crossing his features. The emotions he thought he'd locked away begin to stir again. The faint lines of confusion above his brows betray the battle within, a mix of guilt, frustration, and something else he can't quite name. He exhales quietly, transforming once again into a smaller, chibi version of himself. His serious demeanor melts into awkward silence. ... His gaze shifts to the nearby sofa, glimmering as though it's offering him an escape. A tiny thought bubble forms. Sofa will be more comfortable. It's a light-hearted moment after the storm, a contrast to the heavy emotions that came before. Even so, behind that small frown, there's a quiet acceptance, a surrender to the strange warmth she stirs within him. The girl lies peacefully beneath the soft blue hospital blanket. Her long pink hair fans out across the pillow, glowing under the morning light. The wound on her forehead is still there, but her expression is serene, almost angelic. A faint smile plays on her lips as if lost in a gentle dream. The chaos, the fear, the struggle, all of it seems far away now. For this moment, she looks calm, safe, and perhaps just a little bit happy. The room is quiet, bathed in the soft glow of morning light streaming through the windows. Their hands are still linked together, his warm, steady grip over her frail, pale fingers. The other hand of the girl lies weakly on the bed, a thin tube attached to it, a silent reminder of the fragility she carries. The stillness speaks louder than words. His hand doesn't tremble. It holds her gently yet firmly, as if he's afraid she'll disappear if he lets go. Slowly she stirs. Her lashes flutter open, blinking against the light. A soft murmur escapes her lips. Her hand rises weakly to shield her eyes from the brightness. The world is blurry, unfamiliar, but undeniably real. Her pink hair spreads out over the pillow like silk, glowing softly under the morning sun. For a moment, she looks lost, as though caught between the haze of dreams and the weight of reality. Her body is still weak, barely moving beneath the hospital blanket. The scene zooms in on the gentle rise and fall of her chest as she breathes, steady but fragile. The fabric of the blanket catches the warm light, wrapping her in a fragile sense of calm. Everything feels distant, almost too quiet, as if the world is holding its breath, waiting for her to fully wake up. Her eyes slowly open wider now, a confused and dazed expression filling them. "Who?" she whispers, her voice barely audible. Her pupils reflect both fear and curiosity. She turns her gaze upward, trying to piece together where she is, who might be nearby, and why everything feels both familiar and strange at once. The wound on her forehead is still raw, a sharp reminder of the storm she went through before ending up here. The quiet is broken by a low, firm voice. "Woke up." He stands by the window, tall and composed in his dark suit, his presence sharp against the bright sky. The narration box reads, "An hour later." There's something in his tone, not just relief, but also a hint of something he doesn't want to name. His eyes are fixed on her, making it impossible to ignore the weight of his gaze. His hand reaches out instinctively. Without a word, their fingers find each other again. as if drawn by something stronger than either of them can resist. She lies there, weak but awake now. Her eyes follow the warmth that envelops her hand. He stands tall by her bedside, but for that brief second, their world narrows down to just this, a quiet connection, fragile yet unshakable. Her eyes widen in shock, pupils trembling like ripples on still water. The sudden realization hits her like a bolt of lightning, sharp, unavoidable. The soft glow in her pink-violet eyes makes the exclamation marks hanging above her seem almost audible. For a heartbeat, everything around her stills. Her world narrows down to this single, breathtaking moment of surprise. She straightens up, her hands trembling slightly, as she looks up at the tall figure before her. Her voice rushes out quickly, almost desperate to fill the silence. "Sorry, I will not dare to do it the next time, sir. I will obey. I will listen to you." Her words come out like a practiced plea, one she's forced to repeat too many times. Her bright eyes, still framed by the bandage on her forehead, hold a mixture of fear and forced obedience. Though her tone is light, there's a heaviness behind it, a truth hidden between the lines. Her fingers fidget nervously, the motion almost instinctive. She clasps her hands together tightly, a fragile attempt to hold herself together. The man stands tall before her, silent and unmoving, his presence pressing down on her like a shadow she cannot escape. The small nightstand beside her holds nothing but a phone and a tiny flower, a quiet contrast to the tension thickening the air around them. She bows her head slightly, trying to hide the unease in her heart. Her thoughts scream silently inside her mind as the words appear, like echoes radiating outward. "I should not be so angry, otherwise he will vent his anger on my relatives. Then what should I do? Just needing him can't make me live without losing my self-respect. Then I can do it all for him." The words are heavy, suffocating. She's trapped in the fragile space between fear and survival, bargaining with her own dignity just to keep everything from shattering. Her head lowers, casting a shadow over her face. The light no longer glimmers in her eyes, only dull pain remains. Her brows draw together tightly, and her small hand clenches near her chest, as if she's holding back something that threatens to break her apart. The pink of her hair falls forward, veiling part of her face like a curtain. She looks fragile, not because she is weak, but because she is trying too hard to endure. He watches her with a stern, unreadable expression. The sunlight streams through the window behind him, highlighting the sharp lines of his suit. His tone is cold and commanding, leaving no space for defiance. "If you woke up, then eat something." He adjusts his cuff slowly, every movement deliberate. It's not a request, it's an order, the kind she's expected to follow without hesitation. As the morning light spills softly into the room, the girl suddenly sits up on the hospital bed. A jolt of realization flashes across her delicate face. Her violet eyes widen, sparkling with panic. "Oh my, school!" she blurts out. The words echo in her mind like an alarm bell. For a moment, all the pain and exhaustion are replaced by sheer urgency, the kind that only a student who's missed something important would understand. Her hand grips the railing of the bed tightly, as if anchoring herself to reality. She takes a deep breath, trying to steady the whirlwind of thoughts in her head. The phone resting on the small nightstand catches her attention. She knows she has to act fast. The world outside hasn't paused just because she's in here. The soft pastel colors of the room contrast sharply with the rising tension in her chest. Her slender fingers reach out toward the phone. The movement is quick, almost instinctive, as if calling for help or answers is the only thing she can do right now. The small pink flower charm by the phone sways lightly, catching the light, a tiny fragment of normalcy in a morning that suddenly feels too loud. She turns to the tall man standing by the window, his figure framed against the bright blue sky. "I need to call my friend," she says, her voice urgent but soft, hoping he won't refuse her. Her pink hair falls around her shoulders, giving her a fragile, earnest look. She clutches the phone close, waiting for his reaction. The man looks down at her, expression unreadable. His hands adjust his cufflinks with composed, deliberate movements, a sign of someone who rarely loses control. After a beat of silence, he simply says, "Sure?" Relief floods her face immediately. She clutches the phone tighter, a faint smile forming at the corner of her lips. For now, at least, she has his permission. Bringing the phone to her ear, her voice softens. "Hello? Xiaozhang?" she whispers, her tone carrying a mix of nervousness and relief. Her violet eyes glimmer faintly as she speaks, the bandage on her forehead catching the light. It's a small moment of connection, fragile but meaningful, in the quiet, sunlit hospital room. The phone call begins with a tone of urgency. A worried voice on the other end bursts out with a flood of concern. "Why didn't you come home all night? You didn't even go to school today, and your phone was turned off. I even asked for permission to let you off today. But how are things going? Are you okay?" This opening sets a tense and emotional mood, showing someone deeply worried about Kaka's well-being after a night of disappearance. The chaotic lines framing the dialogue emphasize panic and anxiety. A girl with long pink hair, still in striped pajamas, holds her phone tightly, her brows knit together as she hears the frantic voice. She seems overwhelmed, clutching her chest and raising her voice to calm the other side. The background radiates orange tones, a reflection of the emotional storm. She's clearly stressed, but also trying to keep control of the situation. Her tone softens, her eyes lowering as she speaks through the phone. There's a bandage on her forehead, and she explains in a quiet, slightly embarrassed way, "I'm fine. Last night I went to the market, I suddenly slipped, and my head was injured." The mood shifts to one of vulnerability. The pink bubbles floating in the background give a sense of calm and slight sadness, contrasting with the earlier chaos. The voice on the other end grows even more concerned. "You were injured? Is it serious? Have you been to the hospital yet? Aya, where are you now? I'll visit you." Meanwhile, the girl replies softly, almost pleading, "I'm at a friend's house. I'm afraid relatives will worry, so don't tell them. You have to help me keep it a secret, okay?" Her attempt to hide her pain reveals both her independence and fear of worrying those close to her. She presses the phone against her ear, her purple eyes narrowing slightly. The word "peep" marks the sound of someone else nearby. Her look is cautious. She's aware that someone around her might be listening. There is a touch of uneasiness mixed with determination in her gaze. A man with dark hair and piercing violet eyes comes into focus. He looks at her with a sharp, slightly suspicious expression and asks, "Friend, who?" The word "look" beside his image emphasizes his intent gaze. His presence immediately adds tension, hinting at a more complex relationship between them, perhaps protective, perhaps possessive, or simply concerned.